Do you? Lost in the labyrinth of my thoughts and emotions? Are you eager to learn more about yourself and the surrounding universe? Today we are embarking on a journey. Explore David, the profound teachings of Dr. Hawkins, and his seminal work, I Can't Hide Who I Am. Dr. Hawkins is a famous spiritual teacher and psychologist. He dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of human consciousness. His work illuminate the path to inner peace for us, the path to happiness and deep cosmic connection. Imagine that. Consciousness is like a vast ocean, and we are like ships sailing in the depths of the ocean. Our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions are ocean currents. It can throw us around. It can also lead us to calm waters. Hawkins' teachings, they provided us with a compass and maps. Let's be more aware and more purposeful. Sailing in this ocean, it reveals consciousness is not just confined to personal experiences in our heads. It's a cosmic force that connects us all. Through research, Dr. Hawkins had a revolutionary idea. It's called a mind map. We will explore this map in detail in this video. He showed the different layers of human consciousness, from shame and guilt to courage, love, and enlightenment. By understanding these layers, we can gain insights into our own behavior and valuable insights into the motivations behind their actions. This journey, not for reach some distant state of perfection. It's about recognizing the power we have within ourselves can change our lives. It's about understanding true happiness and contentment. It's not an external achievement. It comes from the depths of our own existence. Join us. Let's delve into Dr. Hawkins' transformation together. The Church discovers the way to unleash your true potential. In our spiritual journey, one of the biggest obstacles is the ego. According to Dr. Hawkins, the ego is more than just how we feel about ourselves. It's a collection of thoughts, beliefs, and desires. They create a false sense of identity. He is in our minds, constantly seeking recognition from the outside world, sounds of control and security. The ego grows strong, the illusion of comparative judgment and separation. He told us, we are separated from others, separation from the universe, finally separated from the true self. Think of us as we protect ourselves, a mask that is protected from harm and pain. Although this mask can provide a temporary sense of security, but it also prevents us from experiencing authentic connectivity, love, and joy. He trapped us in a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. Always strive for something outside to feel complete. The teachings of Dr. Hawkins guide us to recognize the deceptive methods of the ego and gently release his grip on our lives through self-awareness. Exercises such as forgiveness and unconditional love, we can start tearing down the walls of the ego and connect with our true essence. The process of unmasking the ego, it's not self-judgment or denial. It's about bringing compassion and understanding. Impact. To get to know my little self. As we become more aware of the patterns of the ego, we gain the power to make different choices. We can choose from love, from the perspective of kindness and authenticity. It's not about fear, insecurity, and control. The heart of Dr. Hawkins' work. This is the idea of a consciousness map. This map is not a literal map. It's a powerful tool to understand the different layers of human experience. It explains our thinking, how emotions and beliefs vibrate at different frequencies, and that affects our perceptual relationships and our overall nurturing. Imagine a scale from 0 to 1,000. Each number represents a different level of consciousness. At the lower level of the map, we find shame and guilt, emotions like fear and anger. These emotions are characterized by low energy, contraction, and separation. As we move up, we have the courage to embrace emotions like love and joy. These higher-level emotions are characterized by high energy, sense of expansion and connection. Diagram of consciousness. It is not a tool for judgment or comparison. It's about understanding ourselves, a guide to your location on a unique journey. It helps us recognize the patterns and beliefs that can hold us back, and they empower us. Let's do what is in line with our highest aspirations. Conscious choice. Practice mindfulness through meditation and cultivating positive emotions. We can raise our vibrational frequency and move towards higher levels of consciousness. When we do this, we naturally attract more pleasure, love, and contentment come into our lives. The consciousness map proves the transformative power within each of us can create a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Dr. Hawkins' map of consciousness. It's not a static graph. It's a dynamic description of human experience. To fully understand its significance, imagine a ladder. Each level represents a different level of consciousness. On the lower rung, what we discovered was rooted in fear, the emotions of separation and survival. These emotions include shame, guilt, indifference, sadness, fear, desire, anger, and pride. These lower levels are characterized by a sense of heaviness, limitations, and lack of personal strength. Operate at these levels, people often feel trapped in negativity, in the cycle of blame and victim mentality. They may have difficulty seeing the situation in front of them. In building healthy relationships, there are going to be problems. When we climb the ladder, we will meet and grow. Empowerment and connection-related emotions. These emotions include courage, neutral willingness to accept reason, joy, calm, and enlightenment. These higher levels are characterized by lightness, extensibility, and deep connection to oneself and the world. People who operate at these higher levels, they tend to experience greater inner peace, sense of fulfillment, and purpose. They are more likely to be willful, compassion, and belief in one's ability to create positive change. To meet the challenge, remember that consciousness maps are not for judgment. It's about understanding. It's a tool, helps us recognize where we are, and they empower us. Let's make we get greater happiness. Conscious choices for fulfillment and connection. One of the most profound discoveries of Dr. Hawkins' work, it's our perception of reality, directly affected by our level of consciousness. At a lower level of consciousness, our perception is often dominated by fear, blinded by negative and limiting beliefs. Imagine that, looking at the world through a pair of twisted glasses. Everything looks dark and scary. Hopeless. This is similar to experience life from the lower levels of the consciousness map. We may feel scarcity, danger, and separation, even around us, full of abundant opportunities for love and connection. When we raise our level of consciousness, it's as if we are gradually cleaning up the end of our perception, and the world started to get brighter and bigger, full of possibilities. We are beginning to see the interconnectedness of everything and recognize we are not separate from the flow of life. This shift in perception, not to deny the existence of challenges or difficulties, but with greater awareness, resilience, and an understanding to deal with them, that we have the inner power to harness them effectively. When we operate from a higher level of consciousness, we will enter a world full of inner wisdom, the source of creativity and love. This will empower us to create a more fulfilling and meaningful life experience. Emotions are not just fleeting feelings. They are powerful indicators of our level of consciousness. Every emotion has a specific vibration frequency, and these frequencies influence our thoughts, behavior, and overall well-being. At the lower levels of the consciousness map, what we discovered was rooted in fear, the emotions of survival and separation, such as the characteristics of shame. It's a deep sense of worthlessness and self-loathing. Guilt is often accompanied by self-judgment and a kind of what we did wrong. Belief, indifference makes us feel empty. Disconnection and despair. Sadness can be overwhelming. Let's get lost in a sea of sadness and despair. As we move up, we will meet with love, emotions related to joy and connection. Courage empowers us to face our fears, and the power to meet new challenges. Zhongli allows us to learn from dramatic events, pull out, and handle the situation in a calm and objective manner. Will, It allows us to be open to new possibilities and experiences. Acceptance allows us to embrace life without resistance or judgment. Reason help us think logically and clearly, make a sound decision rather than an emotional reaction. Love is the most powerful healing force in the universe. It connects us to ourselves, to others, to the divine. Stand up. Joy is the natural expression of our true nature. It's a state of pure happiness and contentment. Peace is the ultimate goal of the spiritual journey. It is a deep inner being that transcends all understanding. State of tranquility, the journey to higher consciousness. It's not a linear path. It's an upward spiral. We experience moments of frustration, challenge, and doubt. The key is to remember, these experiences are not failures. It's an opportunity to grow and learn. Imagine that. There's a steep zigzag up the hill, and when we need to stop and catch our breath. But every step, we all gain a new perspective. Have a broader perspective of the surrounding environment. Also, in our journey towards higher consciousness, we may encounter old patterns, limiting beliefs, and emotional starting points. These are not signs of giving up. It's a chance to practice compassion, forgiveness, and self-acceptance. The consciousness map is a guide. Remind us, we are not made up of past mistakes, or as defined by current challenges. We've all evolved, grow, and the inner ability to awaken to our true potential. By embracing myself, practice mindfulness awareness, and cultivating positive emotions, we can push ourselves. It spirals upward in consciousness. Every twist, we all get rid of layers of limitations, fear, and separation, closer to an understanding of our true nature, a natural wholeness, and infinitely connected to nature. Dr. Hawkins believes that the root of human suffering lies in the ego. But this little me, what is this seemingly elusive force? It has such an impact on our lives. The ego is more than just how we feel about ourselves. It's a collection of ideas, beliefs, and desires. They created a sense of identity. He thrives. Separation, compare, and constantly need recognition from the outside world. Imagine that. There is a restless wave on the sea, constantly being blown around by the wind of desire and fear. That's the ego. In a fleeting joy, external achievements, and the recognition of others. Search for your identity. He told us, we are separated from others. Separation from the universe. Finally separated from the true self. This illusion of separation is the source of much of our suffering. The self creates a constant state of wanting. We lack something, faith that needs to be found in the outside world. We chase after wealth, status, and relationships. I hope they can fill the void inside. However, no matter how much we gain, the ego is always demanding more, leaving us feeling empty and unfulfilled. The nest is also thriving, constantly comparing yourself to others, feelings that lead to inferiority, jealousy, and resentment. He whispered that we weren't good enough, not smart enough, or attractive enough. That feeds into perpetual self-doubt and insecurity. Recognize the truth about the ego. One masquerading as our true selves, the imposter, is the first step towards freedom. Dr. Hawkins encouraged us, with compassion and poor judgment, to observe the means of the ego. Notice how he seeks control, manipulate, and protect yourself. Be aware when the ego feels threatened or insecure, generating thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. Think of me as a child with a temper. He craved attention. Recognize and act on your own terms. However, we can choose to be patient, understand, and willing to respond by looking at the essence through surface behavior, rather than engage in a power struggle with it. As we become increasingly aware of the small, my pattern, we begin in our true selves, and the constant demands of the ego create a space. We realize that we are not our thoughts, our emotions, or our stories. We are witnesses to these things. It's the silent observer who lives inside us. The process of unmasking the ego. It's not self-judgment or denial. It's about bringing compassion and understanding To get to know my little self. Impact. As we become more aware of the patterns of the ego, we gain the power to make different choices. We can choose from love, from the perspective of kindness and authenticity. It's not about fear, insecurity, and control. Getting rid of the ego is not a one-off event. It's a continuous exercise. It takes patience, perseverance, and willing to throw ourselves into our obsession with the illusion of the ego. Dr. Hawkins provides several powerful tools to guide us through this journey. It involves self-awareness, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Self-awareness is the foundation for spiritual growth. By cultivating our ideas, positive awareness of emotions and behaviors, we begin to see more clearly the patterns of the ego. We notice how he tried to ruin our happiness, create conflict, and keep us trapped in a cycle of pain. Forgiveness is essential to break free from the control of the ego. The ego grows strong, blame resentment, and cling to past injuries. When we forgive ourselves and others, we let go of the heavy burden of the past and open your heart to the possibility of healing and transformation. Unconditional love. It's the antidote to the ego's fear-based perception. When we bring love and compassion, when treating yourself and others, we start to dissolve the ego, the erected separation wall. We recognize our shared humanity, and with us, who is connected to the truth. The existence of love deserves to be loved and be able to give and receive love unconditionally. When we apply these principles, we gradually relax the grip of the ego and make room for our true selves. It's not about being a different person. It's about rediscovering our inner peace, happiness, and love. He is about awakening to such an understanding. We are complete and complete as we are now. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. It unlocks the chains of resentment and anger. Free us from the past. Unforgiveness gets us into trouble, deprive us of our happiness and peace. Forgiveness is letting go of the past. Live in the moment. This is the promise of our happiness. It frees us from pain. Forgiveness is a brave act. Open up space for compassion and love. Self-forgiveness is challenging, but it is essential. This means look at past mistakes with compassion and understanding. Forgive yourself and others, so that we can bring joy and gratitude to experience life. The observer state is a haven for inner chaos. He allows us to be free of judgment. Observe your own thoughts and emotions. This perspective creates calm and clarity beyond the chaos of the mind. Cultivate the observer state. It's a journey of self-discovery. Meditation helps us stop clinging to the mind. The inner witness. Release us from the pillow of the soul. The observer state shifts us from a reaction to a response. It allows us to meet challenges with grace and wisdom. We become conscious creators of our own experiences. Choose how to respond. Enlightenment. It's a journey of awakening to our true nature. It's about getting rid of the fear exhibition. Now the light within us is enlightened, brings calm wisdom and a deep sense of integrity. Spiritual awakening. Dissolve the illusion of separation. We recognize our interconnectedness with all life. This understanding brings peace and otherness. The road to enlightenment is a spiral. It involves self-awareness, forgiveness, and love. The journey itself is the goal. Moments of awe and connection. Unconditional love transcends the limitations of the ego. He embraces all life without judgment or expectation. This love heals and transforms and awakens our true nature. Unconditional love heals old wounds, change lives. He removed obstacles. It opens the door to compassion. Respond with love, not fear, will bring peace and understanding. When we awaken to unconditional love, the transformative power of, we begin to experience perception of oneself and the world around you, a profound transformation. The illusion of separation that once seemed so real start to melt. Instead of, it is a deep sense of oneness and interconnectedness with all life. Imagine that, looking up at the night sky, there are countless stars. Each star is unique in its own way, shining light, just as the stars are connected through the vastness of space. Same, we are also all permeated by an invisible love in the universe. Connect with the King of Consciousness. We begin to see ourselves through the eyes of others, feel the pulse of life in all of life, and recognize we are all something greater than ourselves. Part of this realization brings a profound sense of calm, one that knows we're not alone in this struggle. We are governed by a universe that is inherently kind and loving. Support, a loving hug, is all-encompassing. It transcends the limitations of time and space, connecting us to the past, present, and future. This is a kind of love that transcends physical forms. It extends its arms to embrace all life, no matter their appearance. What is your cultural background or spiritual beliefs? In the embrace of unconditional love, we found compassion, the true meaning of forgiveness and acceptance. We are beginning to understand love is not something we seek in the outside world. It's a light that comes from within. Illuminate our path to the highest potential and guide us to our true nature, a natural wholeness, and forever connected to the source of all creation. When we finish with David, when exploring the profound teachings of Dr. Hawkins, a central theme emerges: the journey to true self, inextricably linked to our understanding of the unity of the universe. We delved into the depths of consciousness. It exposes the illusion of the ego and witnessed forgiveness and unconditional love, the power of change. These principles are far from abstract concepts. They lead us to deal with the complexity of human experience and awaken the infinite potential within each of us. Practical tools. Imagine a tapestry woven from countless threads. Each thread represents a unique individual, a sacred and unique expression. At first glance, we may only see individual lines. They are independent and distinct. But as we got closer, we are beginning to see how are these threads intertwined, connected to each other, forming complex patterns and vibrant colors. This tapestry is the universe, and each of us is an integral part of its grand design. Through the exercises outlined by Dr. Hawkins, self-aware forgiveness, develop an observer state, and embrace unconditional love, we begin to transcend the illusion of separation. We recognize me. Their thoughts, emotions, and actions have a ripple effect. It's not just us. It also affects the world around us. We have awakened to the realization that we are not isolated individuals. It's about interconnected life. We share a common humanity and a common destiny. This awakening to oneness is not a destination. It's a journey, an ever-expanding consciousness. Deepen our compassion and align ourselves with the highest truth. Process. This is a period that requires courage, commitment, and love, a journey of strong belief in the power of change. As we navigate life's challenges and triumphs, let's remember Hawkins, the profound wisdom of the doctor's teachings. It guides us towards a greater purpose, a life of meaning and connection, a relationship between ourselves and others, and the infinite source of all creation. Live in harmony.